Hello and welcome to the Ball Watch Guy with a special episode of the Watch Table. Today I'm joined by three guests, EQD, Seaton, and a special guest for a second time, Shepard. How you guys doing?
All
Pretty
good.
good.
How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good, good. Guys, what's around the wrist?
Shepard, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm gonna raise some eyebrows. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sorry. I don't want to scratch it up any more than I already have. I'm wearing my
Right.
Rolex Submariner, but I'm wearing it on a leather strap.
What did you
Leather.
do?
I mean, fair.
What did I do?
What did
I
you
took
do?
I took a really classic design, and then I decided to go fuck that. I'm gonna put it on a leather strap. It's a leather strap. I don't know if you can see this, but it's not going to show up, but it's an Oris leather strap, and it doesn't fit the lugs properly. It's too small, but it is a placeholder until I get a custom made one.
Nice, nice. Seaton,
Very
what's
nice.
around the wrist?
I'm joining Shepard. Uh, New
Nice.
Submariner is on the wrist. So being boring today. Being boring.
Thank God I'm not wearing mine today. EQD, what's around the wrist, mate?
Today, I've got my daily wear of the Tudor Black Bay GMT. This is my regular one. It's pretty decent condition. I've had it since like July last year. It's doing pretty good. It does the job properly. It's real nice to be fair.
Oh, quite
I do
interesting.
like them. They are nice.
the
I'm
Pepsi
quite
as well.
basic today. I'm wearing the Speedmaster as most days actually. Great watch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you said the
guys,
other day you seem to wear that a lot.
yeah, I always gravitate to it. So guys, today we're gonna talk a bit about the upcoming Rolex releases. Watches in One is just around the corner, and every year we can expect a lot of surprises. Hopefully, some good. I've been watching at the Rolex website and just made a small list of all the models. And first on the list was the Datejust, which has not been updated recently. What do you guys think would happen this year with it?
Who wants to lead off on this one? Because I've got a couple of ideas. Um, Shepard, I think as a date just owner,
As a
where can
look,
you see?
as a Datejust owner, I hope they don't mess with it
Hmm,
because it doesn't need anything else doing to it. All you need is a smooth bezel, an oyster
hmm
bracelet, a jubilee bracelet, and a fluted bezel. You don't
hmm
need to mess with that format. It's
hmm
timeless. It does not need any more messing around with. For me, if they play around with it, it's got to be in like little ways, like with the micro adjustments, similar to the Submariner, so you can
hmm
adjust it on the go. That would be a brilliant addition, I think. Just messing around with the clasp, but I
hmm
don't think that the watch itself needs any further adjustment. It's absolutely fine how it is, in my view.
I would
Yeah.
say bring it back
Agreed.
to 40 mil.
Debatable.
I don't know. Like we discussed this on your podcast the other day when I was chatting about my collection. I think 41 and having a 41 and is it a 38? The other one
36.
It's a 36. Yeah, yeah.
36. Fine.
36.
So 41 and 36. I think that's a fine middle ground. I think because of the lug to lug, it sits really nice on most people's wrists. But if you were to make it any smaller, I think that the proportions would just be ever so slightly off. But that's just my opinion.
It used to be a 40 mil, I
And that's fair.
believe.
I love a 36. I absolutely love 36 millimeter Rolex. I think it's the perfect size for me. I've got very, very skinny wrists. I mean, even this sub is too almost too big. I would love Rolex to bring out a linen dial date just go back to the original kind of the 1601, the 1603, and they came in a variation of dial colors. But I'd love to see a textured dial. Um, it's got a bit of character in my opinion. I don't think Rolex would go back down that route. The only thing I can see with Datejust is I can see them becoming way more colorful. I think they're going to
I
take
mean,
inspiration from the Oyster Perpetual and they're going to go even more colorful now.
I was literally about to say that. Yeah, but what do you think about the motif dials?
Motif tiles are nice, but they're very modern. They're very kind of they're modern for this time. Um, They do look nice though. They do look nice. I do like them.
You see
Yeah,
them ever
agreed. And bring down the
go
price
full
because
gold?
I think they should go back to full gold, to be honest. Like,
Mm.
it'd be a good thing. I mean, if they charge like what, 16, 17, 18 for a full gold, that would be nice. Because I mean, if you know,
They're
if
probably
you
gonna
really
charge
wanted, for
more, though.
example, like, yeah, true. Like, if you wanted a day date though, like full gold, their retail what about 33, 32, something like that.
hmm
But
You
if
could
you could
probably
get
pick
one
up
for,
like a vintage day date for roughly around about the 20 mark as well,
yeah,
depending on
true.
condition.
Yeah, true. But if you could get one like for maybe 18, a little bit less, like a date just,
hmm
if you didn't care too much about the date, that would be a really decent thing. But on pricing, bring the price down. I mean, the Oyster Perpetual is still at about 6 grand, whereas the date just is now, if you want a white gold one with a fluted bezel, it's now 9.3, which is
Mm.
pretty expensive to be fair.
Interrupting you there, EQD. You say solid gold, right? I'm not a huge fan of the solid yellow gold style, but what about a rose gold? What about
I'd
a
say
rose gold?
definitely,
I think a
yeah, definitely
rose
rose
gold
gold.
date just might look quite cool. I know a lot of people will scoff at that idea. Um, but I don't mind the rose gold, to be honest. I mean, I think they do a Yachtmaster in rose gold on an Oyster
Mhm.
Flex, and I
Yeah.
think it looks
Yeah,
really, really good. And I think that if you did a rose gold date just, fluted, smooth, whatever, I think it would look really, really cool. But
I'd agree with
again,
you on
that
that
is
one.
sort of messing with the formula a little bit. It's just in a different metal.
They probably
I
don't
personally
reserve
don't
that
like
for
the
the day
two-tone.
date, probably.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean the day date. What was it? The day date, fully rose gold with the was it the olive green dial? That was really popular over the past few years. If
Oh
they did
yeah.
an olive green dial or even the mint green dial, with full rose gold, that might be a hit with people because obviously it'd be a bit less than getting a full day date, but you get that same sort of aesthetic, and so that
Mm.
may work. But I don't know whether they do that though, because I don't know. But it would be a cool thing if they did.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That brings us to the Submariner. Since we have three Submariner owners in here, what can they do with it?
I think I've got a really strong prediction with the Submariner. Um, Tudor's done it with the Pelagos. And now I think it's Rolex's turn. I think they're going to do a titanium. And the reason I say that is because they did that with the Yachtmaster last year. Um, I think titanium is becoming way more trendy now. It's an amazing material, a very hard material to work with. But I think they will do a titanium Submariner. Um, I'd love to see more colors in the Submariner as well. Um, some reds would be lovely, almost like the black bays.
The Burgundy.
Um, the burgundy that would look lovely in the Submariner. But I can't see them kind of innovating off of the Oyster Steels anymore. They've played that out for so long. I definitely do think they will do something big with the Submariner.
Put
Um,
that there.
due to the years, I think it was 1954. I could be wrong. That they came out with the sub.
Uh,
So I think this year is going to be a very big year for the Submariner, and what they do with it, hopefully, is something in a different metal. Hopefully, something in titanium because that would be a really cool watch.
they did a small update last year when they brought out the new green bezel, the Mark II, but they not really
Mm,
celebrated it in 2023. There are some possibilities there.
Didn't they recently bring out a
mm,
Pelagos in titanium?
They did.
Yeah,
Yes.
mm. I tell you what, I'd love to see in the Submariner range. Bring back the green Submariner. Bring back the Hulk because that is. I mean, I don't know why they discontinued it. Um, but I mean, it's such a beautiful watch. When you actually wear the Hulk, it's completely different to what it's like on photos. You know, you get that such rich, deep green that you can only experience in real life.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that watch come back. But,
My dad bought one not hideously long ago, to be fair. I think he got it from Watchfinder.
mm,
Um Bicester Village, if you've ever been there.
yeah, yeah.
mm,
And God knows what he spent on it, but he came back with this really smug grin, and he came home, and I just thought, "You're right there, mate. Well, what you just been to Bicester? Have you just bought yourself some new clothes? You feeling proud of yourself?" And he went, "No, look at my wrist." And I said, "Oh my days, what have you got there?" And as Seaton said, uh, the pictures of a Hulk, forget it. When you see it in person, it's like night and day. It's completely different. The green, as you say, is so rich. It's completely different watch in person.
It's the dogs, to be fair. Like I've seen one in real life as well. They're nice.
But would you ever, if we already have a sub, would you buy another one?
Probably not, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Shepard. I think the black Submariner is probably the most popular watch in the world, and that's for a reason. I mean, you can wear this in casual, comfy attire, or you could wear this with a suit. Probably not the best thing to wear with a suit, but it would still work. Black goes with everything, and sometimes green can stick out like a sore thumb. So I think more people are still just going to be going for the black Submariner.
And then we
Date
have
or
the
no
debate: date or no date.
Well, I'm biased. I think personally, no date is the best.
Oh god.
It's the most symmetric. It's the most symmetrical dial. It can become annoying. It can become annoying, but I think on day-to-day use, I don't really need to know the date. Um, once you just know the date, that's it. You know it for the rest of the day. But it's just symmetrical. I love it, and I like how it's got that kind of. There's no kind of cyclops on there. It's nice and flat. So yeah, but
I
that's me
must
being
say, I am with
biased.
you. I am with you on that one though. I don't own one, so I'm kind of not biased. I would say if I were to get one, I'd get a no date, just because it's just a bit more symmetrical, like, and I just sort of feel again with getting a dive watch, like, I mean, if you actually want to go for the aesthetic of a dive watch, like, why do you need to know the date if you're sitting there, like, actually diving and
True.
stuff, like.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, again, I mean, I understand why you'd have it. If you have it as like a daily wear, obviously having the date on it is a genuine like plus side. Although, again,
Yeah.
if I were to get one, I'd probably just get a no date because you can just check the date on your phone. Like, you know.
As someone who owns a Rolex date, a Rolex sub with a date, I think you're all wrong.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say about the matter.
I love the
Me too.
Cyclops. I love the Cyclops. Yeah, it's personal preference.
I love a Cyclops as
Yeah.
well, but I just feel like it's a bit more symmetrical, tapping into a little, like, it's just, I don't know, I just feel like it fits better. But, again, it's just personal preference, isn't it?
Talking about sports watches, the GMT Master 2. A lot of rumors about the Pepsi getting discontinued. They
Yeah,
brought
guys,
a few new models last year.
Apparently, though, they have been confirmed that they are false. Kind of rumors as such. Apparently, they've been confirmed that they are not discontinuing it.
I have an interesting story. Sorry to interrupt, Seaton. I've got an
Go.
interesting story. When I went to pick up my sub, I was chatting to the guy, as you do, talking about what's next on my purchase list if I was looking at getting a GMT. I said, nah, not really. I'm pretty much done. The only other one I'd probably get is an Explorer 2. And he was saying, oh, well, good, because, the Pepsi dial is rare as rocking horse at the minute. And he said that the reason for that is when they bake the ceramic bezel, they said the blue and the red leak into each other. So they will do like a certain amount, but the majority of the ones that they bake under whatever they use, the colors leak into each other, which is why the Pepsi dial is so rare and in such finite amount. And he said that one of them went through Rolex spot checking, and he had one that was purple. Like when you mix the red and the blue, it was very purpley. And he posted it online, and I don't know what it sold for, but he said, look, this is a one of one. It's a legitimate Rolex. Here's all the bits and bobs. I got it, and it is just it's purple. It's not red and blue. It's purple, and I thought that was sick. But
I heard. Oh no, sorry, go on.
no, I just think that's just like really interesting. Like obviously they think that the Pepsi is going to be discontinued, and I can understand why, because it's a really difficult process to go through from watchmaking. But I don't know how they're going to work around the sort of logistics and the
Bring back
method
the
behind. Maybe.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I've
think
heard
bring back the
something else
Coke.
though. I've been told from like many different sources here, from both from like third party when I visit like third party sellers and grey market sellers, and also I got it sort of confirmed by someone, my AD, is that apparently the red is becoming, the actual red color in the GMT Master and the GMT Master 2 is becoming more difficult to produce, and they can't find the exact color necessary to produce it. Which may be another reason why they may discontinue it. I don't know if they found it again or they found a way to like accurately reproduce it, but this was about 4 or 5 months ago that I heard that, so that may be another reason why it may be discontinued.
Mm.
Well, we'll see.
I think bring back the Coke. I think the Coke is a gorgeous watch, and I'd love
Also
to
bring it
see that
back,
back.
What else can
Yeah.
they do to the range? Like they added so many watches over the years already to it. Maybe an Oyster Flex model, but even then, is there really need for that?
I don't
That's the
think
thing,
so.
we actually missed out on the Submariner. Bring an Oyster Flex on the Submariner.
I would
Now
actually
that
agree
would
with
be
that.
cool.
I would agree.
You know?
When I bought my Super Ocean, I was an idiot and bought it on a rubber strap and didn't buy it on the bracelet to start with. But I 100% think if you put a Submariner, let's be honest, a Submariner is a sporty tool watch.
Mhm.
Period. If you were to put that on an Oyster Flex, it would look so good.
The rubber
The
beam
thing
is
is,
a
though,
nice
the thing
one.
is, though, you could argue that, though, because then what most people would do is, say, in my case, I would just go and buy a rubber strap and put this on a rubber strap. And then you've got the bracelet if you want to put it back on the bracelet. That's the thing.
Yeah, but equally, if you're I wouldn't say a purist, but if you're OCD and have the money to spend, like, there's no. I mean, I don't know. Can you even buy just like Oyster Flex
You
straps?
can you can buy
Yeah, you can.
aftermarket ones,
Rubber
and
beam
there are
is a
some
nice one.
brands. Everest also do a really
True.
good one. I bought a strap of them off of them before.
Hmm.
But it's I couldn't justify if I had the option to buy a black Submariner or an Oyster Flex Submariner. I probably just would go for the bracelet and then put the bracelet in a box and leave it in the drawer just for the
You're right.
occasion where I don't want to go to a venue where I've got a bracelet, a rubber one, and have a bracelet.
Yeah,
Um,
I think you're
unless
right.
they did something drastically different with the Oyster Flex Submariner. They changed something drastic about the appearance of the watch to make it different from the normal sub.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's some
I
possibilities.
mean, I always tend to buy and bracelet regardless though, because you can always swap out a strap, but I feel like getting an actual bracelet that looks good, like especially aftermarket, can be difficult. Like, that's why I bought my GMT on a bracelet, because I just sort of feel like if you buy like an aftermarket bracelet from like a different, like a random brand, they can have issues like with the lug width and everything like that. They won't 100% fit. I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like peace of mind as well, isn't it? You just bought it on the bracelet, you can buy a different strap if you want to, or a different, different anything if you want to. Like,
But
I mean, you
trust
just
me,
got it there,
don't put a NATO strap on a Black Bay. It does not work at all. Especially the 41 mils. I tried it.
Yeah, no, sure that. I
It's
mean, this is a 41. I mean, I don't. The thing is, I don't mind mine. With my GMT, I don't mind it on the actual like. Well, it's the like factory NATO strap, the jacquard strap, whatever they call it. The thing is, everybody hates it because obviously the GMT is a chunkier watch. But in summer, if I'm brutally honest with you, having the bracelet on, especially when it gets hot, just becomes, you just get like, a bit sweaty underneath it, and it just becomes really heavy, and you're just kind of like CBA. So I tend to just put it on the actual like NATO for that. And I mean, again, like, looks are subjective. I think it looks alright. Some people don't think it looks alright, but as actual wearability, it makes it a million times nicer in summer. So that's what
I
I do.
think I think you nailed it on the head, EQD. At the end of the day, like just like buying watches in general, it always boils down to each individual taste. Some prefer bracelets, some prefer NATO, some would go with leather. I mean, I've got my sub on a leather strap. It's just like
Psychopath, by the way.
I'm thinking about right now. Every negative comment will be about the leather strap.
Yeah. I mean, this is the strap. This is the
You
stock strap that
can't.
comes with the
What if you
GMT.
want to go diving in it? What if you want to go in the pool with it? You have to change it out.
Seaton, I'm not diving. I go to work in an office. I come home. I don't need it.
But you go fishing, so
True. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you go fishing.
yeah.
You have to be pulled
yeah,
in.
water.
But I'm not diving in with a spear.
True. You catch a big fish, it can pull you in.
No, if I was if I was going GT fishing or fishing for a marlin, yeah, sure, but
Yeah, yeah. Is it comfortable in the leather strap?
Bro, really comfy, really comfy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I can't like I've got enough
Yeah.
wiggle room. Like it's breathable, and I know people don't like it, but for me, I don't know, man. I think on a lot of leather straps, I will agree it looks ass, but a dark mocha strap with a little something something.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't
No,
care
it's
what
nice.
I don't care what other people think. It's personal choice, and
well,
if you don't like
Yeah.
it, you're wrong. It's subjective.
I'm thinking about
Very true.
putting
Very true.
a British Racing Green leather strap on my Speedmaster. I think that
Oh,
would look quite cool.
yes.
Yeah, it could work. Yeah.
Yeah. That
That
would
would
look
be very
lovely.
cool.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways,
What should we on to next?
the day date. We had some nice, colorful
Uh,
dials last year.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a watch out of my
Emojis.
budget, so I
questionable.
haven't really thought about what we could change with. I loved they brought out a special dial with a violin on. If you have seen it, a
I
month
haven't
ago,
seen that.
month and a half.
I've not. No.
So there's a New Year's concert in Vienna, and they took the golden day date and with the green dial, and they put a violin pattern on it. That was the last release they did. Impossible to get, of course. So for this year, I probably expect them to bring out another special dial, and that's about it. Maybe do something with the platinum again, but what
You know,
can
I'd
you
love to see in
change?
the day date. I'd love to see a stainless steel day date.
Never gonna happen.
I was about to say they've got the date just for that. I feel like
I know, but for some people that want the day and the date, but just as a watch that you can eat around a little bit, it looked lovely.
I mean you're not wrong, but I guess I just associate the day date with precious metal, and I think a
Mm.
lot of people do. And I feel like that's muddying the water a little bit. I feel like I don't know. I could see it, but I can't see it happening.
Mm.
I can yeah, it would be cool, but I just don't see Rolex doing that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can definitely see them jumping on that bandwagon of those colorful dials. But the celebration dials, I mean, they are
Gimmicky.
everyone. Yeah, they're very. I don't like them. I'm very boring, but they definitely sold out and they definitely were sought after. And I think Rolex have realized that, and now they're going to continue on with some sort of animated dial or some sort of colorful dial.
Mm.
Um, I think they're going to run away with that now.
But do you want to buy something cheerful when you pay 30 grand for a watch? Or-
I
No,
mean, I guess it
no.
depends on the type of person you are, though, innit? I mean, if you're like I don't know, like if you're that type of person, or like you're a younger person that's made like a lot of money like very quickly, kind of, and you just just want to splash out and stuff, and I guess yeah. I mean, there's coming up more in the world with people, younger people earn a shitload of money and wanting to just, I mean, they may not be necessarily interested in watches that much, but they see that and it grabs their attention. They might be like, oh, that's cool because it's slightly different and it's like a conversation starter.
I was gonna say the opposite. Well, not really the opposite, but you could be just a watch collector in general, and you have the facility to buy up these pieces. Like, I don't think the celebration dial is going to be something that is like lasts for a considerable amount of time. I think it will be in a finite amount personally, and I feel like a collector will look at that and go, "There's an opportunity to collect an item that probably won't be around for long." And just have it in their collection, not necessarily wear it all the time, but just have it in their safe, in their box, and go, this is a not a rare, but this is not a normal piece by Rolex. This is just a variation and an addition to my collection that I'm growing. If you're a big watch collector and you've got other bits and pieces, and the celebration dial isn't too much of a financial steep for you, I feel like it's more tailored towards them rather than someone like myself, yourself, and
Me.
Seaton. Like, it's
Yeah.
not necessarily something that I would go out and buy because I wouldn't say boring, but I just want nice and plain, nothing too
Mm.
fancy. It does the job. It's a tool for me. Um, but as I say, if you are a wealthy individual that collects watches, I think it's more tailored to that rather
Yeah,
than
true.
the average consumer.
It's
I
like the
mean, I
bubble.
wouldn't buy one
Sorry,
like.
Goody, please continue.
Oh, so yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't buy one personally, but I can see that as well. And if they choose not to continue it, then this is just like a 1 year thing. Like I can see that raising in value majorly. Like imagine like 10, 20 years time when people are after that, like it's going to be really, it's going to make some people a lot of money.
It's like the OP Bubbles doll, which is on the other end of the spectrum. Actually, funny story about that one. My sister picked one up 2 weeks ago. She got the 34
What
mil,
size?
34 millimeters.
Oh, very nice.
We walked in the AD because my brother-in-law has a Daytona on the Oysterflex, and he wanted another strap because it was too short. And we were talking with a guy because my sister actually wanted to buy an old vintage golden day date or an old vintage golden Datejust, preferably. And we were informing, hey, we're looking for a vintage piece, can you deliver it? And yeah, of course, the whole Rolex spiel, yeah, second-hand market, you have to be careful, so on, so on. And I said as a joke to the AD, oh, well, she can buy maybe the celebration doll, the bubbles. And I was pointing at the cabinet, and the dude was like, yeah, what size? 34? Yeah, I'll reserve it for a day. Just give me a call if you want it. So, and he told me the 36 and the 41, impossible to get. 34 ladies model? Actually, you can acquire. But he also said a bit like, maybe will be discontinued by the end of the year.
It's because it's that in between size, isn't it? Because people tend to go for like what? Generally 31, 36 or 40, innit?
I think ladies' sizes.
Sorry, 31.
Like,
Sorry, yeah.
wait,
It was a
I
31.
feel like ladies' sizes just in general. I mean, my girlfriend doesn't wear anything that's smaller than a 38, and I think her biggest is 42, and it's a Omega Moon swatch. Most women these days can pull off wearing a chunkier watch. I don't think it has to be tiny and diddy. I mean, if you're going out to like a really classy event where it's like black tie and you're wearing a dress and you want something that's small, probably works for that. But I would say that for the most part, in my experience, because that's what my girlfriend wears, she doesn't wear anything that's smaller than a 38, and it looks absolutely fine. Like she's got 6.5-inch wrists, so you know a big 42 millimeter watch looks big, but it still works. It's still fine.
It's doable. Yeah.
You don't need a tiny diddy thing. Like you can't read the time. You have to properly look.
Yeah.
I
See,
don't
I'm
know.
different.
Yeah, I mean-
I love a 36. I love a 36 millimeter. I've even worn 34s before. I like them. I like my eyesight's decent for the moment, so I don't have that worry.
I
I'm not a
I'm
actually,
massive
single at
lover
the
of
moment, so
the
I can't wear a
42s and
36.
I know we're going
Mm.
off topic a bit, but perfectly fine. I watched I was reading the Standing Watch report today, and I saw that Cartier is now the second biggest watch brand, and we think we all know the most popular watch is probably the Cartier Tank or the Santos, and those are smaller models. I think it caters more to women than to men.
I mean, the tank I can see, the Santos maybe not.
I was gonna say.
No, I would say Santos is more man's, and then I think
Yeah.
Tank is
Yeah, I
more
mean, if you're a
women's.
couple and you go in there, like, obviously, because of just the actual sizing, like, I can see, like, a couple going in there and going, okay, we want some watches to celebrate, I don't know, wedding or something or anniversary, and being like, okay, you know, the man being like, I'll have a Santos, and the woman being like, I'll have a Tank, just because it makes more kind of sense sizing wise. But at the same time, there's no reason why either gender can't wear either watch, because again, I mean, what is it, Muhammad Ali wore a fucking Tank, so you know, at the end of the day, it can work.
Indeed. So anything else about OP? Every year they discontinue a color. Maybe we see the green disappear this year. If you're
I'd like
lucky.
them to actually make them available. I think they're cracking watches. They're very comfortable to wear. They're good daily watches, but
Do you
yeah,
know what would be?
Rolex,
Do you know
stop
what
playing
would
with us.
really interesting? Omega have within the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, released a new line of Aquaterra
Yeah.
with multiple different colors, including an orange. I think with the Oyster Perpetual, I think something similar would look really cool.
Do they not have it in the orange?
They used to have a yellow and a coral
I was
red.
gonna say, I
Oh,
think
coral. That's what I was on
yeah,
about. Coral.
I think not copying the colors exactly, do your own thing, run with it. But I think a similar line to the new Aquaterras, but for the OP, I think would be really cool. Just talking about color, I think color and variation is certainly something cool to have in your collection. It's everyone can go ham on just buying a black faced watch. I think greens, blues, oranges, reds, not so much yellow. Not a huge fan of yellow in a dial, but that sort of thing. I think for an OP, knock yourself out. I think that look really cool.
I can see them becoming a lot more
Mm.
popular as well based on pricing, because if the
Yeah.
Datejust is around 7, 8, 9 grand, the
Mm.
OP is still 5, 6. Like, as in, it's a big difference. If you want fluted bezel, like Datejust, that's literally 3 or 4 grand more now. Like, it's a big chunk of money, especially if you're not necessarily into watches that much. I can see the OP being very, very appealing to people, just to the generally everybody, just based on because it's around 5, 6.
Yeah.
That brings us smoothly to the Cosmograph Daytona. They updated the whole collection last year. They're probably not gonna touch it, or not really a lot. They also brought the Le Mans edition.
Mm. I reckon there'll be nothing from Daytona. I don't think they'll do anything.
Do they still have a meteorite dial?
I don't know if they've stopped that.
I know they
I'm
did
not
for
too sure.
GMT, but I don't know about the.
Oh, they definitely had a meteorite dial for the Daytona. It was on an Oyster Flex. Um, but I think after last year, I don't think it's sensible redoing another, Panda. They've done all the precious metals. They've done them in Oyster Flex. I can't see them changing it. I really cannot.
No, there's not really much you can do more with the Daytona. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. There's nothing more you can do. I agree.
Hey, I prefer an Oysterflex Ghost model over the classic White Panda, to be fair. I found the White Panda so
Same,
boring.
Here's a
yeah,
hot take.
I do like the Oyster Flex.
Here's a hot take. I don't like the Daytona, period.
It grew on me.
Yeah, likewise.
I don't know. I don't get excited by it. I look at it and go, cool.
I like it, but I'd go different. I'd probably go like maybe solid yellow gold with an Oyster Flex or something similar, maybe, or maybe rose gold. I love the
very
Panda.
garish. Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough.
Like
Very.
I don't know. Like I like it. I like that. I think it kind of looks cool. Because I love the Panda. Obviously, like it's really good, and it's like kind of, I guess, stereotypical if you can say that. But I don't know. I'd like, if I were to actually genuinely consider buying one, I don't think I'd go for the Panda, just because I want it to stand out a bit more, especially if I'm spending that much on a Daytona. Like I want it to stand out. You know what I mean?
All the precious metals, are they black dials?
No,
No.
the
No.
Daytona you can get in like
A gold
It's a
and a
bit like
You
silver
get in the
as
green
well.
dial?
Oh, really?
yeah, you
Yeah.
can get it in, yeah.
Black with diamonds.
I mean, they even do a black with like it's a solid gold. It's a black dial, but it has like a red ring around the dial, and it has like goldish kind of markers and stuff. Well, not markers.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm gonna lump these two together. The Sea Dweller and the Deep Sea collections.
Next.
Next. I agree. Next.
What's wrong with the Sea Dweller? Come on.
I don't want to be walking around with like 4 ton on my wrist.
I like
Yeah.
the deep sea. I must admit, I do like the deep sea, but
It's too much, man.
it's too much. But I really
Just
like
get a
that dial.
Submariner.
Like the blue black dial, like the fade. I really like that dial. But the thing is, if you had like a sub with that dial, that'd be perfect in my opinion.
That's
I
an
think they're
opinion.
too big.
Yeah,
That is an
yeah.
opinion.
It's unpopular, but I'd like that personally. But it'll never happen. Well, you never know. But
Hey, just get a Deep Sea challenge. It would work perfectly around our arms.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
You wear it as a belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with my
It's
skinny
just-
wrists.
Bro, it's just too big. Like, if you are some morbidly obese bloke with 9-inch wrists, that's the watch for you, boss. But
Yeah.
we really
no,
know
it's
what I
just-
am.
I mean, look, I've tried one on. When I was ages ago in Southampton, I went to a it's like 3 dealers. I can't remember the name. Begins with an L. I went in and I just said, "Oh, can I just try some on. And he went, yeah, blah blah blah. And I tried the deep sea on, and it was like I would compare it to what's the Omega that's also really big? The Planet Ocean.
Yes.
It's like that,
Mm,
but even bigger. And I thought the Planet Ocean was big, and I tried on the
mm.
Chrono one, which is even thicker. It's thicker than that, and that's just it's like a block of metal on your wrist. It doesn't feel like a watch. You feel weighted in your arm. So
Got a hockey puck on your wrist, like.
yeah, it's exactly that. It's like you just got like a massive wedge. Like you could flail your arm around and knock someone out with it. It's just no, it's too much.
And going
try
from the
one next time
deepest
I go.
depths, we can go back to our ships, to our yachts with the Yachtmaster. The watch I don't get. So they brought out
I
the
like 'em.
titanium.
I like them.
Yeah,
think they're alright.
the Yachtmaster in white gold, perfect. I don't want them to change it. I think it's perfect on that rubber kind of Oyster Flex bracelet or strap. I don't want them to change it.
Like
That's my opinion, and I don't think they will change it.
I think they might
Due
update
to
the
the fact from
Yachtmaster
last
too.
year. Yeah, because the Yachtmaster last year they did it in the titanium. I can't see them changing the Yachtmaster, but I can see them changing the Yachtmaster too.
It
Yeah.
feels a bit outdated, the Yachtmaster too.
Yeah, it's
Well, if you
also
want to,
not my cup of tea. I think that the Yachtmaster 2 on the bottom of it is a little bit lairish and glary. I don't think it's needed. I don't know why that's on the dial.
no,
Sorry, the bezel.
I think the dial and the bezel just needs bit bit of
Yeah.
tweaking
jigging,
with the
yeah.
two. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just needs a bit of reworking. I mean, the Yachtmaster as a whole, I think is I actually quite like it, which is weird because I didn't think that I would, but um, no, I do like it. But again, I know I said that the only Rolex that I would ever buy is probably an Explorer 2, which is very basic and bit meh. If I had the money, I would be buying the Yachtmaster Rose Gold on an Oyster Flex, 100%.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, that
that
is nice.
I'm a sucker for Rose Gold. I think it looks really, really cool. I mean, I know we've already discussed the day date, but the Rose Gold olive dial, that's crazy cool. The
Yeah, love it.
Yachtmaster black dial with an Oyster Flex, crazy cool. Anything Rose Gold, I just think looks killer.
I want
But
to
that's
agree with it as
just
well because it's a change. It's a change from just like just
yeah,
regular yellow gold, isn't it?
it's a difference between yellow gold, which I feel like is very like garish and out there. Steel's a bit plain, a bit boring. I feel rose gold is just like that nice, classy in between.
Yeah,
Again, it's just
no,
my
I agree.
opinion.
I like it. It's like a different as well. It's a nice hue like to have. As in,
Hmm.
yellow gold's great and all, but I mean, it's classic and everything. But if you rose gold, it's again it like again what you said. It's slightly different. You know, it's something. It adds something different. It adds kind of like uniqueness,
Hmm.
like to when you have something, rather than just going for either like steel white gold or um yellow gold. Like
Hmm.
it's like a nice difference.
Any predictions on what you think they'll do different with the Yachtmaster 2 then?
I think they probably will do an update of the movement.
Yeah,
Hmm.
probably.
Uh,
I don't think they're brave enough to change the dial personally. I think they'll just keep it as is. I would
Yeah,
happily
no,
be
I agree.
wrong, but I feel like that needs change now. It needs a bit of a zhuzh,
it's a bit
bit of a
garish.
rework.
I think it, yeah, I think some things on the dial can be taken off. If it was a cleaner dial, it would look quite nice. But there's so much going on in that watch, and obviously it's intended purpose, so you've got to keep that function of the watch. However, maybe getting rid of some of the date wheels and all of that stuff, and keep it quite simple. It'd look really nice.
Hmm.
That brings us neatly to the Air King that they updated. Was it last year? No, 2 years ago.
Yep. I hate the Air
Yeah.
King.
It's quite
I
busy,
would
is it?
love, I would love, yeah, I would love Rolex to go back to, this is what I say about the date just as well, go back to some of the vintage kind of styles of the Air King and do a really classic Air King.
Yeah, agreed.
I
Yeah.
feel like the Air King now is like, it's almost like an explorer little bit on steroids. An Explorer 1. I think
I
if they went back to the simple dials with our markers, not our
Arabic numerals.
numbers, our numerals. Thank you. I think it would look really nice, but
100%
not a
agree.
massive lover.
Yeah,
I,
agreed.
I think I can't remember who I was saying this to in the Watch Discord a while ago, but I was
Mm,
saying like I used to think the Air King was cool because it had that little bit of green on it. It had
It
a
still
slightly different
has.
color hand. Yeah, and I
mm,
thought, oh, that's a little bit different from Rolex. It's a little bit more out there. But then after learning more and getting a little bit more educated, and obviously my tastes change over time. I was looking at the original Air Kings that they produced, and I thought, well, hang on a minute, this is a step backwards. This looks so much nicer.
mm,
I would 100% prefer an older one than this one. And yeah, great, they've changed the Arabic numerals from white gold to super luminova. Who cares? Just give me a
mm,
classic, nice
agree.
looking, classy timepiece. It's a dressy watch. That's what it was. I don't need to be able to read it in the dark. If you want to make a pilot's watch Rolex, make a pilot's watch. Don't
Yeah.
have it in between because, as you rightly said, Seaton, it doesn't know whether it's a OP or an Explorer. It's that little
Hmm.
bit section in the middle, and it doesn't. I feel like it's a little bit lost. It should go back to
Mm,
its roots. And if I was to hope for any
Hmm.
change Rolex did this year, it would be changing the Air King back to what it was, but they won't
Yeah,
because they've just changed.
that's the issue.
I mean, either that or creating like another dial, like create like a few different dial options.
Just a simple
Yeah,
wide
mm.
dial would be amazing.
yeah. They
Yeah, that
did
could work.
make one. I'm pretty sure they had a black and a
Mhm.
white one, or it was more like cream, maybe.
They've
But
had there were so many different Air Kings. They did a kind of I believe even like a kind of a silver dial. But the thing with the vintage Air Kings, you can really pick them up for a really good price now in the second-hand market. So
True.
big time.
Yeah.
yeah,
Luckily, the
I just
market
looked
is
at one now. You
crumbling a
got a
bit.
vintage for £4,000.
yeah, that's good.
Mm,
Brings us to
yes.
the Explorer. You want to pick one up, Seaton, I believe. Wide dial, Explorer 2? Or are you going
No,
black?
but the okay. So the best Rolex in the world is the Explorer 36 mm black dial. Okay, there we go. I've just confirmed it. There you go.
It's so
It
boring.
is
No.
perfect. It is perfect, perfect, perfect watch. I've got the sister to it. I've got the Tudor 36, Black Bay Tudor 36 mm. I love it. I really love it. And if I had any predictions, I feel like Tudor is now showing Rolex what to do, and I've got a really good suspicion that Tudor are going to have, sorry, Rolex are going to have a look at Tudor with their Black Bay 36, and they're going to add some color dials onto the Explorers. I could definitely see a
Hmm.
white dial Explorer 1, or even a blue. Um, Blues in fashion, blue and stainless steel looks really, really nice. So I could see definitely a dial change in regards to color. But I don't think they're going to change the
Wouldn't that
actual
be
aesthetics of
competition
it.
for those
It's
perpetual? I don't see them doing that.
but the thing is, it's the dial layout. The Explorer and the OP dials themselves they're very different. Um, I think K-shape as well. I believe it's a little bit different. Um, I don't know.
I'm
I don't
I'm
know.
going
I'd
to I'm
I'd
going
like
to
a different color.
interject. I'm going to interject. The Explorer one doesn't need anything doing to it.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
doesn't. While I will go out on a limb and say that I prefer the 39 purely because it looks better on my wrist, I will
Hmm.
also agree that 36
Yeah.
is top. It is top. Um,
Regardless of size, I think you're right. Regardless of size, I think the actual aesthetic of the watch is beautiful. It just
yeah,
depends on your wrist size when it comes to
yeah.
sizing.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks boring, but so does the
Hmm.
Submariner. But when you're wearing it,
Exactly.
it's a completely different feel. Like you can't you can't describe. I don't know how to describe it, but it is a completely different feel. And yeah,
Mm.
I don't think the Explorer needs any adjustment whatsoever. I don't know why they did it in rose gold or that gold,
Hmm.
whatever the gold we've got there. It just doesn't. Just
No,
keep it
no.
steel. Just keep it steel.
Yep, I agree.
It's an outdoors tool watch. Don't mess with
Mm.
that. Rolex, listen to me. Don't mess with it. Thank you.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep
I
it
mean, also,
keep it simple, yeah.
Just
Alright,
keep
About
this.
you
Just
saying,
keep
yeah, about you
this.
saying like boring. Like it's not boring.
Yeah.
It's just like
It
a
is boring
classic,
to
innit?
me, but I like boring watches, so that I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Yeah, again, like
Mm.
like it does what it does and it just does it well. And if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yep,
Yeah,
big
it's a
time.
good saying.
That's it. That EQD, you've just hit the nail on the head. If it ain't
Mhm.
broken and it's selling well,
Don't fix it.
don't mess around with it.
Yeah, I mean maybe offer different stuff, like, but don't make that
Is
the main
Explorer
sort of
selling well
focus.
though?
Steelers.
I think the fact that you can't get on a waiting list for them tells you a lot.
Over here you can easily.
All right. Well, I'm referring to me being in the UK, where everything's hard to get. So I don't know.
I
If
think
that's a fair comparison.
to be honest, if you're looking to buy, and don't this isn't financial advice, Jesus, but if you're looking to buy a Explorer One, the price on the second-hand market compared to retail, we're talking hundreds of pounds, like a couple of £100. We're not talking thousands. And there are some cases now where you can go and pick yourself up a fairly brand new Explorer One for retail or under. So if you really, really do like that watch and you just want to buy it, I'd just go down the grey market route.
Never went grey.
No, sometimes you have to.
True, true.
When you're impatient.
Well, one watch that's
premium
always
one.
available. It's the Lady Datejust. Not sure if you have a lot of opinions about that watch, to be fair. It's a
I
cracker
think the
watch.
thing with the ladies' day just it is a cracking watch. It looks very, very good on ladies. However, it the same concept with the larger date justs. Different dials would be lovely. But I can see Rolex are gonna continue with the diamonds. They're gonna continue with the precious metal date justs. I can't see them changing much on it. It's been
I
an
mean, it's
icon
more
for
of
years.
it's like a jewelry accessory kind of for a lot of women as well.
Exactly.
The ladies' day just like if you have your diamonds and you have precious metals, again it fits. You know, with everything
Mm.
else that. I mean, if you're into those type of watches and stuff, you're probably into diamonds on other stuff and everything like that. It fits.
Or you can
EQD,
go
I
overkill
don't
like
mean
this.
this. EQD, I don't mean this as an insult in any way, shape, or form. So please take this as a compliment. I think what you just said is probably the smartest thing you've said with relation to watches. A lady's date just is just but an extension of jewelry. I think I think that is it. I
Yeah,
mean,
like, I mean,
watches are jewelry for men, right? And
Mhm.
I think by extension, you should look at the same with the diamonds and the precious metals for the ladies' version. It is by extension an addition to the jewelry that one wears. I think you're spot on with that.
because I mean, if you look at like the historical thing of watches, like, I mean, when ladies were wearing watches, they were made more. It was more an actual piece of jewelry to wear on the wrist rather than a watch to wear on the wrist. So it kind of fits along with that aesthetic as well.
Yeah.
Well, we can always buy one for our missus in case we need to jump the waiting list. That's what we buy.
Is there even a waiting list? That's the thing. Is there a
No,
waiting
to
list for a
jump the
ladies' day
waiting
just?
list for something else.
Oh yeah, no way.
Indeed. The 1908. The dress watch in the collection. I have never seen one in real life.
Same here.
Didn't they discontinue a watch?
Cellini.
Was it like a
Cellini.
Cellini?
Cellini,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's whatever it was
Cellini,
called.
yeah.
I've never seen one of those, and I've not seen a 1908, and I really don't care.
I've seen
Cellini's are
1908. I
nice.
like it.
I do like
Like-
Cellini's. They're really, really nice.
I like the 98. The only thing is, I don't know what they change about it. Because again, it's one of those type of things where like you couldn't really change much. Because if you started changing a lot, it would be a bit like, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean?
There are speculations. There are sources, people saying adding complications to the 1908, such as moon phases.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
quite cool.
I think
it would
that
look
be
quite nice. Yeah, it would.
The
But then
Cellini
again,
had one.
then again, you're adding stuff to the dial. It's quite nice and simplistic, as it is now.
But you can get away
I
with a
don't know.
moon phase in the dress watch.
I mean, a moon phase. I
You
mean,
can, of course.
maybe if they added a blue dial, maybe that might look quite good. If you had like a moon phase with it along with it, but
I don't know,
don't
man.
know.
I think I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite. I know I just said I don't like them, but the white one looks, I think, arguably better. I think
Mm.
Yeah,
a
agreed.
moon phase would probably add. Yes, it would clutter the dial, but I think you could just about get away with it. But what are they retail? Does anybody know? They're like crazy money, aren't
Let me
About
check.
19 grand.
You can't even buy 'em.
1908
they? No, they're like
configure.
Have a look.
White gold.
sure.
24,000 euro.
Yeah. No.
Crazily
Yeah.
expensive.
That's ridiculous.
I'm buying a Rolex Conquest, and it looks the same. Rolex Conquest, a Longines Conquest.
If you want one in yellow gold with a white dial, they're £19,300.
That's mental.
Mm.
Like,
There's so many nicer watches. I mean, that's like vintage AP money.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're on the way to a Calatrava at that point. Like,
Yeah.
there are so many other things you can buy for that, and I feel like, nah. Yeah, I given the choice between. All right, I know they're completely different price points and they're completely different watches. Given what we know now about price, you can pick up a blue Jubilee fluted bezel date just for 9,200, or you can pick that up for 20 plus grand. What are you going for? Sorry, I'm going with the date just. I don't care that.
Yeah.
Just
You
at a
could-
choice, I'm 100% going with the. I feel like there's more to it. It
also, you
looks
could have
nicer.
date just and a GMT for that price.
Exactly. You could have a Submariner and that
Yeah.
at that price. You could have
And still have a few grand spare.
yeah
And buy yourself one of my watches like a Tudor GMT. Like,
yeah exactly. Like that's crazy. It's crazy. Maybe we're over dissecting it.
I mean,
Maybe there's a reason to why it's that much money.
I
But
think it's
just
also
from the
something to do
surface.
with our age. We're quite young. We don't really looking at dress watches like that.
I mean,
Well,
no, but at the same time, like, I went to the my like, what do you call it, an AD? I guess an AD, and I tried on a Patek Calatrava, and I absolutely love that. It was the one with the small second hand. It was, I think, it retails about 28.50 or something like that. And I absolutely love that. You know, I would get one. Like, if I had that money, I would get one of them 100%. But again, to the 1908, I just wouldn't get one. I don't know why. It's, you know, it's nearly like a, so what, like a 7 or 8 grand difference. But I feel like the 1908. I don't know. It might be just me because it doesn't have a big necessary like a cultural significance like that model. You know, it doesn't go far back. It was literally just released last year, innit? Like, I guess if I was going to buy like a really classic watch, I'd want it to have like a kind of heritage behind it.
I'm surprised the 1908 sold out because the Cellini, no one liked. Okay, when I say no one, some people did like them, but they were like the ugly duckling. They really were the ugly duckling. And then they got discontinued, and it's like the Milgauss. Everyone went mental to
How
buy
much did they retail for?
Cellini.
Did they retail for?
Cellini's, I believe, were cheaper. I'm not too sure on retail.
Need to look it
I
up.
just think it's obviously you'd have to look up what they were at retail. Obviously, they're not on the website no more.
Talking
Yeah.
about the Milgauss, actually, I don't see them making a comeback anytime soon.
No.
Speculations are saying that the Milgauss will come back. I can't see it coming back. I'm not a
Eventually,
massive
but
lover
not
of
this
it.
year.
Yeah, I'm not a
Maybe in a few
lover.
years.
I don't like that second hand, but
I
that's
think it
me.
suffers from the same problem the Air King does.
Yeah,
agreed, yeah.
exactly.
It doesn't know what it is.
It's a date just and an Oyster Perpetual, I would say.
I mean, I think it's quite
It's
cool.
got
But
that
at the
kind of
same
that
time,
date just dial.
Well, the green
I don't
glass
think
is
it
quite
necessarily has a
unique.
place.
Mm.
Did you know they never patented the green glass, so the competitors could never find out how they could make it?
Mm.
Yeah, that's
It's clever.
yeah.
It's clever.
I think it's cool, but I feel like again, it's a bit Marmite, isn't it? You either sort of really like it or you just hate it.
I just hate it.
Yeah.
That's me.
I mean, I really like it. I wouldn't buy one because it's still, I don't know. I
Then
mean,
you don't like
pricing
it
as well,
enough.
like- yeah, I don't like it enough to buy one. Like,
Talking about the most hated watch, for me personally, the Sky Dweller.
Ugh. Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah, I know it's Rolex's most complicated watch. Who cares?
Yeah.
Again, that suffers from it's like a wedge on your wrist. It's so thick. I know it's got all the complications, but didn't JLC make the world's thinnest watch?
And then Bulgaria
What
at
is it,
some
Chelsea?
point, and
I think
Richard
the
Mille at
world's
one
thinnest
point.
watch now is the Richard Mille one.
Oh yeah, of course they did. Yeah, was it the Ferrari thing that they did?
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I will
Pretty cool.
retract. But even still, JLC, really, really thin watch. I'm not saying take a leaf out of JLC's book. I like JLC, granted, but even still, Rolex have got the money and the capacity to thin that down and make the movement and the complications, I would have thought, a little bit more cohesive within the case and squeezing the case down thinner. What do I know? I'm not a watch expert or a watch engineer, but you'd have thought, right? It's just very thick.
Yeah.
So the only change I would want to see from the Skydweller, I don't hate it from a looks perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it from a thickness perspective. It's just too chunky. It's just too big.
I think
Yeah,
overall
I
the
agree.
watch market wants smaller watches. More elegant goes.
They're making a comeback.
I do think
They're
that.
definitely making a comeback.
Well, if you look at like Breitling and Omega, they have always been known for making, not always been known, but they have been known for creating and manufacturing bigger, chunkier watches. Breitling 100% with the Avenger line, the Super Ocean
44
line.
mils, 45 mils. It's
Exactly.
Even the Navi timer. That's
The
a
Navi timer,
big
yeah,
old watch.
that's a 48, isn't it? The
I'm
big
not
one.
too sure, but that's big. It is big.
But yeah, that's huge. And now we've
High-tech.
seen Tudor come out with the 36 mil, and that's selling like hotcakes. I certainly think that a little bit more refined, a bit more. I don't want to say the word class because it's not quite, but smaller watches 100% are definitely coming back.
Yeah. And I'm happy for that. I love small watches. They,
I think it's good, just as long as they still do keep watches that are around 40 mil.
They have a
Because I feel
46
like a lot-
millimeter
they're
Navi
always-
timer. 46
Jesus,
mil.
that's big.
That's still big.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
very big.
that's massive though. Like, I mean, you know, I'm a chunky bloke, but 46 is still big on me. Like,
Hmm.
I think I have. Do we still have it? I think I got the new brochure from last year when they.
what size are the G-Shocks? The GA? Are they 42?
Well, I have no idea, mate.
Because I think that's one of the biggest watches I own.
Oh, look at this poster he's got here.
Yeah,
Who's that book?
I'll have to
Big old
collect some bits and pieces when it comes to watchmaking. They're iconic,
Yeah,
but
fine.
they're so big.
Yeah.
Right, I went into when I bought my Speedmaster. If I remember correctly, the new Navi timer 39 mil, I think, was 7,200 retail, and the Omega Speedmaster was 7,400 retail. Now, for the sake of not that I paid retail, I'm not an idiot, but you look at those two watches and you're like, you're choosing the Speedmaster every time. I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I think the Navi timer is way too much money at the minute.
I
Again,
think Breitling and
opinion.
Omega moved a bit too much up market. Both of the brands.
I think they have.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they're
I
they're. I don't want to say
Especially Breitling.
overpriced. I don't want to say overpriced because it's worth what someone's willing to pay for it, right? But you look at it and you just go, not on my dime, chief. Not on my dime.
I mean, I'm thing is, I appreciate another time for what it is. I'm just not really a massive fan of it, and I mean, what they're charging at the moment, I'm never going to be considering one. However, a Speedmaster, even though they have come up in price, 100%. Like, speed is cool.
Yeah, I picked mine one up for just over $5,000.
that's
Is
not
that, did you
2021.
get that retail? Did you get that second hand?
Retail? I negotiated a
now
discount,
they're like, what?
30%.
How
Yeah,
much are
man,
they now? They're
that's
like
good.
6-7.
But this is $5,000. This is a reasonable price for a Speedmaster. 5.5, fine. More than that? No.
What is that? Is that Sapphire or
Sapphire,
the
yeah.
Heslite?
Heslite.
Yeah.
It's with
Yeah.
I so what's
Beautiful.
what do you pay that in dollars or pounds?
euros.
Euro.
Or Euro.
Euros. I paid.
Like 4.5 around there.
When did I buy mine? Last year sometime. I paid 5,650, I think. Straight from the shop.
In
I mean,
pounds.
if
And
you
then-
want one, I can see one
Yeah.
brand new here from Goldsmiths. It's 6,600 retail supposedly.
Yeah. But you can get
That's
discount.
pound. Yeah, you get a discount. That's pound. So what in euros? About what? Maybe what 6, 9, 7,000 euros maybe. which it's a big hike compared to when you bought yours. Like,
Is that the professional EQD or is that the Hesalite?
give me 1 second. Let me just get
Because the
up here.
Sapphire Sandwich, I'm pretty sure last time I looked was 7.4.
Yeah, quite a
I
bit
love
more
I love how
expensive.
we're now talking about Speedmasters.
I'm getting the conversation to what I love.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I do like them.
Yeah, just lost the page from phone again.
Oh, come on, man. Let's
It
Google
was the
this.
professional. Yeah,
was?
this was it's a new 2021. So I don't know if it's the actual retail. It's from Goldsmiths. It's a new 2021 Speedmaster professional. It's a 42mm for 6,600.
That seems cheap. Right. Okay. Right, there we go. I found my exact model. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick up my phone, but 7,500.
7,500. Yeah, I just got the same page up. Yeah. Beaver Brooks in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that might just be you sure? I don't know. 9,000 doesn't seem right. 6,000 doesn't seem right.
No, that might have been. I think it was like a new old stock type one.
Probably.
Not the 1863 probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, if you have not that much to spend, Speedmaster Quartz.
That's cool. I like that.
How much are they going for?
I've seen them between $1,000 and $3,000 online.
Not bad. Yeah,
And
not
I'm always
bad.
telling myself, I'm buying one, and every time I'm like, no, you're never gonna wear it.
They're cool, but it's just a bit like a posh F91W in it. Like,
I was about to say it's just a Casio with Omega's branding on it.
yeah.
No, it went to space.
Great.
Great. Yeah, but the one you bought didn't. Stuck in a warehouse, isn't it?
Indeed.
That is very true.
Anyways, guys, I thank you for your time. And
No, thank you.
we should do
Yeah.
this soon.
Thank you very much.